This is the new areograph technique we've been playing with here in New Zealand. This footage is a room we scanned for a client producing a computer game. As you can see, we navigate around it just like a normal 3D polygon environment you would find in any usual first-person game. The raw data we start off with for this room is in the order of 300 gigabytes. Because this is all light field data rather than geometry, we get all the great lighting effects from nature, rather than having to artificially implement the long list of different effects real light can produce. For instance, you'll see in this room examples of refraction and reflection. In the case of refraction, we can also see effects such as chromatic aberration, which would usually be left out of a render, as it is often seen as detrimental to the image. In the case of reflection, because we are working with real light rather than a recursive ray tracing function, the depth of the recursion is effectively unlimited. The big drawback of this technique is that while we are collecting data in a scene, it must remain completely static. Therefore, we use this technique to replace static world meshes, but keep dynamic objects using a typical polygon-based scene graph. Under ideal circumstances, it takes us about 3 hours to collect the data in a room of this size. However, there are various reasons to run it slower. For instance, in the game our first client, Clock Tower Games, is producing, we are capturing each color field, red, green and blue, with a depth of 24 bits per channel. This extra dynamic range means increasing the scan time several-fold. While the data we'll be shipping for their game will be tone mapped down to 8 bits per channel, we'll be able to release dynamically adjusting HDR viewing software as time permits over the coming year. We also look forward to the next generation of LED backlit displays with HDR viewing. Having the data ready for the consumer release of HDR display technology means that we can take advantage of it as soon as it's possible to provide the most realistic first-person simulation we can think of.